Tupac. I think Tupac might got killed by a dude that they had an incident with earlier that day. But
Ice Cube appears to have finally spoken on the living of the legendary Tupac Shakur, and it seems he might have a clue about who allegedly called the hit on Shakur. Additionally, Cube might have also hinted at a connection between Tupac and Biggie's element.
Tupac and Biggie, I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way.
So what exactly did Cube say in a recent interview? Ice Cube discussed the effect that Tupac and Biggie's unfortunate demise had on the entire music industry. Ice Cube's words carry considerable weight stemming from his own prominence in the rap world during the turbulent times when Tupac and Biggie met their untimely demises. He remarked Tupac being of Biggie being Univid was just a wake-up call for the whole industry. This sentiment encapsulates the shockwaves that reverberated through the music world when these two titans were taken from us, and the reverberations of their deaths are still felt today. The elements of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. are enigmatic chapters in the history of hip-hop. Tupac, with his incendiary lyrics and charismatic persona, was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996, and he succumbed to his injuries 6 days later. Biggie, a lyrical genius and East Coast rap icon, met a similar fate when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles on March 9, 1997. Both cases have remained open investigations, leaving fans, fellow artists, and the broader public in a state of perpetual uncertainty and frustration. Ice Cube's assertion that these unalignments served as a wake-up call is poignant. It underscores the profound impact that these tragedies had on the industry, shaking it to its core. It was a time when hip-hop was reaching unprecedented heights in terms of popularity and cultural influence, and in the loss of two of its most influential figures sent shockwaves throughout the community. The message was clear: no one was immune to the dangers lurking in the shadows. Ice Cube's words also allude to the shifting landscape of celebrity and security in the hip-hop world. In the aftermath of Tupac and Biggie's death, the notion that fame could shield artists from harm was shattered. He recalled, "We're in a new era where celebrity means nothing, anybody can get it." This sobering realization cut through the glitz and glamour of the industry, forcing artists to confront the stark reality that their fame could make them targets rather than shields. In the aftermath of these unalignments, the hip-hop community underwent a seismic shift in its approach to security. Ice Cube reminisced about the precautions some artists began taking, such as investing in bulletproof trucks and vans. The rationale was clear: in a climate where violence could erupt at any moment, protection became paramount. Ice Cube's own perspective, however, diverged from the prevailing failing trend. He admitted, "I don't remember taking any more precaution than I usually would," a testament to his unwavering commitment to his craft and his unyielding spirit. Additionally, during a separate interview conducted as part of the promotion for Barbershop The Next Cut, Ice Cube delved deeper into his contemplations concerning the tragic losses of Tupac and Biggie. His remarks shed light on his lingering suspicions about the circumstances of these iconic artists' untimely deaths. He expounded on the belief that these two hip-hop legends did not succumb to random acts of violence. Instead, they were the deliberate subjects of meticulously planned assassinations. He stated,
Tupac and Biggie, I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way.
This distinction is significant as it delves into the intricacies of motive and opportunity, opening up the possibility that Tupac's death was not a random act but a premeditated act of violence. The rapper's words prompt a deeper exploration of the events leading up to that tragic night in Las Vegas. In 1996, Tupac's unalignment has been a big mystery, and people have been guessing and making up wild stories about it for years, and one name that keeps coming up in these stories is Sean Diddy Combs P. People say he might have had something to do with Tupac's death. What's really interesting is that even before some folks like Gene Deal and Keefe started talking about what happened that night, Diddy seemed to drop some hints about his involvement. He didn't come right out and say it, but he kind of hinted at it in his song Muscle Game. Diddy's lyrics in Muscle Game still get people talking in the hip-hop world. It's like a spark that's making everyone wonder who he was talking about in those verses. Folks think he was pointing at Tupac Shakur, which brings back this old rivalry that's been on people's minds for years. It makes us question if there are hidden truth, secrets, and plots that might have had a role in what happened that sad night in Las Vegas, a night that changed the history of hip-hop forever. In those verses, he boldly declares, "You see in this game, only the strong will survive, and the weak shall pass." See, a lot of cats think with their brawn, not with their brain. Huh? Come on, man. F with me. I'll drop $1 million on your head. At first glance, this might appear as typical bravado, a common trope in the realm of hip-hop. However, recent revelations from Keefe D have cast a shadow of doubt on the notion that these words are merely empty threats. Keefe D, a figure with a connection to the infamous Med of Tupac Shakur, has asserted on multiple occasions that Diddy was not merely rhyming about dropping money on someone's head, but that he was involved in a far more sinister plot. In Keefe D's eyes, Diddy requested him to orchestrate the assassination of Tupac Shakur and the elimination of Knight, the formidable figurehead of death row. Records these allegations raise unsettling questions about the true meaning behind Diddy's lyrics and the potential darkness that lies beneath the surface. Keefe D's allegations are not limited to his book, but have been extensively shared in social media interviews and even surfaced in a secret police interview with the Los Angeles Police Department. Such a revelation casts an eerie shadow over Diddy's lyrics, turning them from a perceived display of lyrical aggression into a potential reflection of his involvement in a dark chapter of hip-hop history. Another former gangster from that era, James McDonald, also known as Mob James, corroborates Keefe D's claims. He recalls hearing rumors about Diddy and others at Death Row Records discussing a price on Suge Tupac's heads. The rivalry between Bad Boy Records on the East Coast and Death Row Records on the West Coast was intensifying, and James, who had worked as a security enforcer for Death Row Records, maintains that everyone had a price on their head during that turbulent period. The backdrop of a heated East Coast-West Coast feud amplifies the tension in the hip-hop world, hinting at the possibility of drastic measures being taken in the pursuit of dominance. In an LAPD interview recording provided to the U.S. Sun, Keefe D appears to recount a pivotal moment when Diddy allegedly contacted an associate named Eric Von Zip shortly after Tupac's shooting to inquire about their involvement. Although Keefe couldn't be prosecuted for the statements he made to the LAPD due to certain legal agreements in place, the content of his statement was unsettling. Keefe claims that when Diddy learned it was their entourage who had shot Tupac, he was happy as hell. This chilling revelation suggests that Diddy was not only aware of the plot, but perhaps even sanctioned it. Keefe D's statement raises the disturbing possibility that Diddy might have been complicit in one of the most infamous unalignment in the history of hip-hop. Furthermore, in another LAPD audio clip, Keefe D asserts that Diddy paid the fee for the hit to Zip, who ultimately kept the money for himself. The implications of these allegations are profound as they paint a picture of Diddy's involvement in a heinous crime. Keefe D's book, Compton Street Legend, delves even deeper into the alleged conspiracy. He recalls an encounter with Diddy in New York, where the hip-hop mogul known then as Puffy or Puff Daddy ordered the hit while enjoying pastrami sandwiches and sipping pink champagne. Keefe D recounts Diddy saying, "I need to speak to you, big dog," a prelude to a chilling conversation where Diddy allegedly confessed his fears and outlined his intentions. "I have a couple of problems I need to be handled," Big CEO Suge Knight unpacked. The chilling circumstances under which this alleged conversation took place add a layer of intrigue and horror to the narrative in the book. Keefe D explains Diddy had issues with Tupac, particularly after the release of the diss track, Get Him Up. He recalls Diddy saying that song made Puffy mad, indicating that the fiery feud between Tupac and Diddy played a pivotal role in the alleged plot. In a recent interview with YouTuber Vlad TV in May, Keefe D dropped another bombshell, claiming that FBI agents informed him that Diddy had paid $1 million to Eric Von Zip for the assassination. This revelation adds a layer of credibility to Keefe D's allegations, as it suggests that even federal authorities were aware of the sinister dealings. Keefe further highlights that the FBI deemed Eric Von Zip as a dubious character, indicating that Diddy might have been involved in shady dealings beyond the realm of hip-hop rivalries. The involvement of federal authorities in this narrative adds an element of intrigue, raising questions about the extent of knowledge within law enforcement regarding the alleged conspiracy. Keefe D's shocking G claims have brought the Diddy Tupac saga into sharp focus into the rivalry between Diddy and Schneid, along with the tragic fate of Tupac Shakur, are themes that have echoed through hip-hop history.